Hey guys, what's up? It is Sarfnic here. Welcome to episode 2 of Harth History. This one is about Harth SMP Season 1. So, without further ado, let's get into it. So, it was about early April 2017, and the rest of the Harth crew kind of got bored of the Harth RPG, so we decided to start up an SMP. We had a few SMPs in the past that we knew about. I played in Jams' SMP. It was kind of cringe, mentioned it last time. And also I had a SMP with Kaib, or as he is known now, Aramis von Eising, and Warcries and those guys, and we had a little bit of fun time. So we decided to do an official Harth SMP, and on this first day, it was just me and Firal. And we started up the world and spawned in a mountain area. And by the way, I actually have the world download, so I'm showing you on screen all the bases. It's pretty awesome. I almost lost it because the media file link was deleted, but thankfully my old PC had a backup of it. So that's awesome. You get to see the builds. That does not hold true for some of the other seasons. So we actually allowed Schematica. We always allow Schematica on our SMPs. And Firal decided to get this schematic of this tower and build it. It was a huge project, and it took him forever, but he finished it eventually. So this is the main base. It's right by spawn. This is my base, and also Warcries' base, along with Vex kind of had like a place here. As you know, Firal had his tower here, and Blue also lived here. Supreme lived here, but there are a lot of members that didn't live here. It was known as the Megarier's base. Pretty awesome place. There's a huge wall that became a meme here because everyone was like, oh, Sarfnic's Donald Trump, he built a wall. It actually originally was cut off here, but then we actually did an extension and everything, so the base was like double in size nearly. We actually never built anything there though. Sad face. Who knows, you could download the world and build something yourself if you want. Over here was my house on the edge. I actually remember one time as a prank, Firal built a huge dirt cube around it to make fun of my wall or whatever. It was actually a salty prank. I think Firal was legitimately mad at me and decided to prank. It was fun cleaning that up. This one was also built with Schematica. These are most of the builds that are built with Schematica until we get to one of my outpost bases, which we'll talk about later. But there's also this mob farm that Lou made. It barely worked. Here's this villager house I made. This is 1.11, so it had old villagers. They're updated now because I'm in 1.17 making this video. Here's a little barn that someone made. Some new guy who joined halfway through the season. Might have been Krat's friend Creepor, might have not. There were a lot of new members that joined later in the season, and kind of some joined Megariers, some joined other teams. Then there's this tower here. It's where the wall used to end, but now, as you can see, it extends. And I just didn't want to destroy the wall, so I kept it. And you see this little, like, vine area. This is actually where we were going to store the Ender Dragon egg. I have no idea where it is now. And one of the most important spots in the entire SMP, this was the mob grinder. We actually made another one underground, which I'll show in a sec. But this was a famous grinder that we all used that Vex designed. I remember just sitting here for legit like 30 minutes just trying to get 30 levels so I can enchant stuff. It was technically public, so everyone used it. And then there's this ice boat path that goes right outside the base that leads to another spawner. I think Warcries and Firal made that. Don't quote me on it. So that's the Megarier's base, but this is not really a tour of the world, guys. We're talking about history here. I'd say this base doesn't really have too much history involved to it. I mean, it was the main base, but nothing really happened here. I suppose there were some moments like this one.
Can I keep the armor for being the champion?
No.
Here,
No.
take my old armor.
No.
Here.
No, you. I'm quitting. I'm quitting if you do that. I'll quit.
Let me see. Did you actually?
If you're gonna tell, I was joking about keeping the armor of Warcries. Young Warcries was a gem, man. Young Sarfnic was a gem, too. But let's get into some of the history. So, right nearby this base was a swamp, and that's where Krat settled. I actually helped him set up the base. I even named it. It was named Selkar, if you're wondering. Beautiful little swamp base. Helped him build a wall around it and everything. And then at the near tail end of the season, which was like over a month into the season, we actually had a war. I immediately invaded Krat's base and took it from him. He was so sad about that. Kind of sad, but you know, hey man, war's war.
Hello and welcome to the war, you hellish humans. This is the war, and the rules are. I'll recap them right now.
Yep, the war has started, guys.
No griefing, stealing traps in other territory, etc. Traps are allowed as long as you're not in another's territory. PvP will be enabled, team killing will be disabled. Have fun.
That was at the later end of the season in May instead of April, but back in April there was another conflict happening on the other side of the map. There was this huge jungle, and there was a dispute over it between two key players. Sensul, who you know is ButterTaco now, and Vex, only the Vex. They weren't officially at war, but they're kind of in conflict with each other. And Warcries and I actually got involved. We tried to make an alliance called the Zalk Alliance. It was like a jungle base in between theirs. There's Vex's base, which is on the right side, and then I think the right side's east. And Sentinel's base was on the west side. He had like a little underground spot. But the secret was, he told us about it, and I told Warcries about it. And we built a secret base near it. Right by it, as you can see here. Really, right by it! Apparently he discovered it, and also he had another secret base somewhere else. It turns out his original secret base was a fault. But we named it Operation Lattice, and we kind of left a sign for him to discover, and he had no idea what it meant. And the code word for it was Isidol. Just read that backwards. So there were a few other bases we need to go over. There's this treehouse base that someone had. I'm not sure. And then there was a savannah in between Megarier's base and the jungle, which Slims had. Then there was this huge ice continent that Firal and I discovered, and we both decided to share a base there. And actually, in the later part of the SMP, I would like log in every day and build this wonderful building. I got this from BWO, by the way. With Schematica, it took so long, and I was nearly done. I was kind of sad that the SMP had to end before I could finish it. On the complete other side of the map, there was this desert base that I had, and to get back and forth between them, I just used the Nether. So let's get into the Nether. We had a huge ice tunnel. This was as efficient as it used to be. We had it go pretty far, actually, and we had like a Nether fortress nearby.
Let
And
me
look
do
at the
this. I have the most OP bow.
Technically looks like a popsicle, dude. But on fire. Just one shot.
Next, we need to discuss a little more stuff about the base that I actually kind of overlooked, the Margarier's base. So the Margarier's base had a huge mine deep under. Lou had spent legit hours in there just getting us resources. What a grinder, man. Thank you, 99Lulu999. And there was also something secret underneath the tower, a secret basement. I remember Warcries and ButterTaco taking me down there one time and showing us a spot where they were duping diamond swords. And obviously that would not be allowed in any other Hearth seasons, but it was allowed in this one for some reason. But one thing I would do kind of when I was bored as an admin would just like kind of fly around and spectate. I wouldn't use this to cheat to find any ores or anything. I had honor. I just use it to like fly around and just kind of explore sometimes. This is kind of like a cool thing to do. And obviously it was pretty stupid to do. But whatever, I did anyways. And one time I was in a VC with Warcries, and I went down to the basement, and I discovered the basement, although I already knew it was there. I, for a second, said, "Oh, War, there's a basement?" He's like, "Shout, were you using Spectator?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Abuse, abuse, you should have not known about that room. We were planning something against you with it." Or something like Firal didn't want me knowing the room. But I'm like, I already knew about the room, man. And Warcries didn't believe me. I think maybe like a few years ago I told him about it, and he actually believed me now. But either way, this is Harth History. It's not meant to be biased, but I know that's the truth, so I'm telling the story anyway. There's a lot of drama between me and Firal. I don't know why. This also happened in Harth SMP Season 2 as well. But I don't remember the Season 1 drama's origin. And I know this was one of the things, but there was more stuff, like apparently getting mad about certain just things that I did as an admin and believing I was corrupt, although I think Warcries himself even admitted that Firal was kind of wrong here about this recently. Again, that's a fact, so I'm stating it. No one saw Firal, though, I'm pretty sure. We were both wrong in that situation. And it kind of had a little bit of tension between Firal and his good ally, Huskies, who also played on the SMB. But whatever, it ended up in peace, although technically, since he had built his tower in my base, he actually put like a red line around it to say it's his territory, because obviously he wished he had it after we had like our little debates and stuff. Before we get to the final stuff, we also had a fun time in the end. I remember the Ender Dragon fight. Vex got the kill. Warcries died early. He raged about it. And it was actually a fun time. There's a video of that in the iCards above if you want to see the whole thing. It is recorded kind of weirdly because I had some issues at the time. FYI, at some point we transitioned off of a realm and onto an official server. And there was one day that I had got a bunch of elytras. I was so happy, put in my ender chest, so happy about not dying or losing anything, because back then we were all kind of bad at Minecraft. And then along the next day, and the world switched over. And Warcries, without my permission, switched the world over to another world so we could start working on the spawn, because remember, we want to make this a server still. And back then we hadn't canceled the RPG, we just put it on halt. And so I'm like, oh, fucking Warcries, switch it back, we want to play the SMP. So we switch it back. And everything seems to be fine. The builds seem to be fine. But then our inventories are completely wiped. Our ender chests, everything. And that forced us to shut down Harth SMP Season 1. This was late May of 2017. And then we start preparing for the next season. Season 2, which started in early June 2017, which will also be what the next episode shall be about. Now let's get into some interviews.
I am quite nostalgic for Season 1, despite my dislike for it. I try not to, although it still is a good season, although I do prefer quite a few seasons more than that. I prefer Season 5 most likely. Season 4, yeah, Season 5 and 4 would most likely be the only 3 with shit.
I strongly disagree with this, but okay.
Oh, it was great. Everybody was quite active, very friendly, and everybody was having a blast. We had mini wars, and we were building a lot of stuff. We had territories, we had different clans, and there was a lot of arguing between Warcries and Sarfnic, and it was really entertaining.
I think there's more between
because-
us two.
Well, yeah, but that's kind of the usual, you know?
Yeah.
It's nothing special. It's been like this for like years. It was fun. It was really fun playing because in my compound, well, not necessarily mine, but it was a compound. We had the big tower, my tower, where I used to live in, and
Yeah.
I stole it from YouTube, from what I remember, and I said it was my tower, and I lived in there. It was really fun, and there were a lot of times that people just jumped off the tower and died, like myself.
Probably me as well.
And yeah, that was very, very great and fun. And we had the little cave, not necessarily cave base, but there was a big cave, and we used to mine there a lot.
Yeah, it was
Um,
the underground of our mountain base was such a
Right.
huge mining area. Oh my gosh.
and we found like a lot of diamonds. It was great.
I remember at the start I claimed a massive jungle and lived in it like a monkey. I had a small shack that people knew about. There's another base that no one knows about still. Not disclosing that location. For after a bit, I decided that I didn't want to live in the jungle because I didn't want to play the game correctly. I wanted to freeload, so I went and based with everyone else and convinced Warcries to give me a bunch of gear and elytra. And so I more or less just fucked around there. It was a fun SMP. All the coolest people are from that one.
Yeah,
for
like
sure.
Firal and Only the Vex. If I remember correctly, you and Only the Vex had a dispute over jungle claims. Warcries and I got
Me-
involved, I remember.
Me and Vex had a lot of disputes. I don't even remember what they were about. We just didn't get along, it seemed like.
Yeah, that's for sure. But I think you guys got along after that season.
Yeah, after that season. I don't remember much from season 2.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't think I played for that long in season 1.
Yeah, the point was you had this incident where you like broke our wall, and then Warcries and I thought you were stealing our stuff, but you're
Oh,
actually, like,
yeah. Okay, yeah. No, okay, yes, I do remember that. I'm pretty sure I was just sitting there and a creeper came over and then I was trying to fix everything and you guys came over and thought I was ruining it.
and then you
and
kept
yeah,
dying
that-
to mobs, and you just quit
Yeah,
the
I
SMP.
was-
It was kind of pathetic.
I was having problems.
Yeah.
I'm not that good at survival Minecraft. A lot of the time, like even in the newer seasons, I just fuck around. Like I don't really do too much. Like I don't normally get armor and shit. Like I get maybe iron armor, and you know I just chill. I don't really I don't involve myself in the fighting or anything. Luckily, I did end up coming back.
I do remember that me being put into like a swamp away from everyone.
Mhm,
Then you
it's kinda
guys
place.
decided to like build a wall or something.
Yeah, we built like a nice wall around your swamp base. It was a pretty nice base actually. You had like a farm outside and stuff. Yeah, and I remember during the war, we totally invaded your swamp base and took it over for ourselves.
Yeah, that was fun.
Do you remember your teammate Creepor?
Yes, I do. He made a nice little base on our base.
Oh, nice, yeah. Remember you had like a nice little house. Your house was probably one of the best houses on the SMP.
I worked on that non-stop, making it look nice. There was you guys like on like in the main area all the way near each other, and there was me all the way like a few chunks away.
Yeah, it wasn't that far. The swamp wasn't
Yeah.
that far.
And you were just like somewhere, and I was just over there in the swamp vibing.
Just vibing and all.
Due to nostalgic value, obviously, I'd probably do better than I would like 4. We were very stupid admins. I can say that much.
Yeah.
We were not very mature. Cue Sam and that whole situation. Despite that, we definitely did acclimate a community and that was very effective in perpetuating Hearth later on. So I definitely appreciate it in that manner. And I appreciate they were able to do that while choosing somewhat competent people as community members at the same time, despite our incompetence.
And a lot of the times, the creepers just exploded in a mob grinder. Thus, we had to repair it. And it was really fun playing with, I forgot his name.
Vex?
Vex. Yeah,
Yep.
right. Vex, great guy. Amazing. It was really fun to play with. And I really liked him at the time.
Do you remember the Magarier's base?
Yeah, the tower that Firal made. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
where I freeloaded my whole time.
Oh my god. Oh,
And your horrible wall that you built,
yes, the
that
cobblestone
you had to expand, and it expanded for no reason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was awesome. That was awesome.
I'm pretty sure I made the spawner actually. That will not make the spawner
The
itself,
farm?
but
I
yeah,
think
the farm
Vex
from
did
the
that.
spawner.
Vex or Blue.
Did he?
It was one of those two.
No, I could have sworn it. Shit, my memory's that bad then. I could have sworn it was me, or I helped with it, or something like that.
I pretty much just kept to myself while everybody was fighting, except this one dude, which I remember he had a penguin profile picture.
Sensul, aka
Yeah.
ButterTaco now, as he's known.
Okay, Sensul. Yeah, I'm just gonna call him Mr. Penguin. So Mr. Penguin, he had a jungle base, and I joined him when Warcries and Sarfnic threatened to attack him. And I completely joined his side in secret. It was really funny because that's how kind of the series ended, because I really liked the guy. He was very competitive, and we shared a base for a while. And then I gave him resources, I gave him information, I gave him base. I was a spy, really, just a spy, not even a double agent. And then I moved into his base, and then you guys also moved to the jungle and also had a secret base eventually, which I leaked the codes to because I was his double agent.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, the jungle
And-
war was awesome.
Yeah, it was amazing because you guys found it only after the series ended.
Do you remember the time that I visited your jungle base and you revealed it to me and stuff?
Probably not. I mean, I know I revealed it to you, War, and a couple others, but
Yeah, I remember you
I
had like
remember
a
specific times.
under some bush you had a base, and then
Yeah.
Warcries and I started our secret project.
you guys aren't good at
built
keeping secrets.
we built an underground base right near yours. Like in the jungle bushes, we built an underground base. It was pretty amazing, and we didn't think you knew about it. I don't think you knew about that part, right?
I walked across it accidentally once.
Yeah, it was
I
some
think that might have
crazy
been how
stuff.
I figured it out.
And there were way more wars than that, because this SMP was amazing.
So Operation Essil, Operation Lattice, yeah, Operation Essil would be the actual name. The inside name, it was super obvious. Lattice Essil. I wonder what the similarity is. It was, I think through nostalgia, it was very much upplayed. Yeah, I think upplayed. Yeah, upplayed's a word. Yeah, I think so. Despite that, it could have actually been quite cool if he found his actual base through it and so on, which I presume would have actually happened should have the SMP have continued. You know what happened. Warcries bad.
Yeah, bad
Yeah.
judgment, I guess.
And yeah, it was really fun, especially when we had a zombie grinder right next to the base.
Yeah, I remember spending like a long time in there just grinding stuff for getting like 30
Mhm.
levels so I can enchant stuff. So much memories there.
That is pretty much it for the overworld. Then we have the Never. The Never was amazing. I don't remember who exactly started the transport system.
Might have been Warcries.
Maybe, but
I remember I
then-
helped with it though.
Exactly. I think everybody helped with it eventually. I remember I did actually help with the system eventually because I really wanted to like connect everybody, and that was my project after there was like the base. Like I think I connected somebody's very far base to our base, to the ones with the walls. And that's really it. I would say that Never system was amazing because trade was very apparent. We really needed to trade a lot in the series. Like, not a lot, but to a point that it was a necessity. I found it very fun, like very, very fun at the time.
What do you think about all the dumb stuff like Sarfnic flying around in spectator mode, visiting everyone's base?
I mean,
And-
obviously, you know what I view of that now, and I pretty much have held the same opinion since that time. Like, I haven't really changed in that opinion, despite having, to some degree, almost corrupt in terms of although it wasn't explicit, like what I did with the Ender Dragon fight, that was an attempt to cheat, and I could have cheated, but I refrained. Despite that, it was corrupt in the ways that I was trying to trick people.
Yeah, and like
So
how
that I
you're
could
trying to get TP'd back despite.
That's exactly what I'm mentioning right now.
Yeah, I know.
Other than that, I'm not sure if I cheated.
Although-
I don't remember now. I'm pretty sure I remembered like a year ago, but I don't know if I actually cheated other than trying to do that thing.
I mean, we let you go back in spectator, which I think is perfectly fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
Mhm.
Really, I
Shut
wouldn't.
your
I
bed
wouldn't allow
there,
that
man.
now yeah, I wouldn't allow that now for professionalism
Yeah.
because other people will ask for it if I do, so on, so
So,
forth. Not
final
so on.
question is, what did you learn about SMPs and Harth from this season, since it was the first
Since then, or just from that specific season?
from this specific season?
I certainly learned of their value and their inherent value, as well as I was simping for Hermitcraft, as you know. Then, I believed Hermitcraft to effectively be the best SMP at the time. Yeah, I
Still
didn't know
is.
Psycraft. I still don't think it's the best. Super patriotic Warcries thinks Harth SMP is the best. Either way, what did you expect with that? So, I did learn quite a few things. Obviously, I learned of cheating. I know you've experienced this as well, because I know you cheated during season 1 as well. It inherently does lower the actual drive to play and entertainment value.
So,
despite the
referring to what
drive
Warcries
you
is
have
saying,
to
because I don't go over that during the main video, there was an incident where I was flying, and then my brother came in my room, and I had to like close my computer for something, like an emergency, and I come back and I drowned in the ocean, and I said that was a reasonable thing just to TP back and get my items. Which, I mean,
I'm sorry,
obviously in
what-
the
what
current
you're
season I
cheating
wouldn't do
also-
that.
Yeah, obviously, yeah, now.
I would
but
just be smart enough to log
the
out. but-
yeah, exactly. Did you not cheat elsewhere?
The other thing was I used to fly around in spectator, which wasn't cheating because I wouldn't
Yeah,
like look for
okay.
diamonds, but I
In
would
that
just like
case, I
check out
shouldn't use
everyone's
it as an
bases.
example, although that was a dumb choice.
But I
like
never
Arrow-
spawned anything. No.
Like Aramis having gone into creative instead of just logging out. That's stupid as well.
When that happened.
That was season 5 when he was AFK. That
Oh.
was only periods of like a minute though when he was AFK. Still then, that's something I obviously wouldn't allow now. Just going.
What's spectator?
What?
What about just going in spectator instead of creative?
No, I don't allow it unless it's actually to spectate people, to catch people, or if it's something big. Like remember we spectated the fight.
Yeah.
Like I gave a specific exception for that for viewing purposes as well as for recording.
Anyways, closing thoughts on Harth SMP Season 1.
As I said in the beginning, it was questionable in its quality, but it certainly it had very good roots in its core values, and that certainly led to something much more valuable than what it was then.
So yeah, what a season. In my opinion, this was the best season of Harth SMP, and the popular debating opinion is that Season 4 was better, but I disagree for a multitude of reasons, which we'll discuss in the Season 4 video. But I'll discuss the reason why I think this season is the best. We made the best build progress we've ever made in a season, and this also was the longest lasting season, lasting a little bit over 2 months. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. It was definitely epic, probably one of the more epic ones. And we'll get into the next episode airing tomorrow, or it'll be on your screen right now if it's already come out for you guys. Enjoy. It's Harth SMP Season 2, the next season.